Hello, Grand Rising, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to Authentic Black Goddess TV, and also thanks to those of you tuned in on the QueenAShakur TV show. I'm your host, QueenAShakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Well, to both channels. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click the notification bells and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right. Hello, Yusuf, Soulism, Silent D, Tracy, The Conscious Room, JB. All right, Ayon, I see you. Melanated Brown, Jeff ATL, J Love the Queen. All right. Shout out to everyone in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. I see you, Howard S. Mott, Ramsey 7. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it, beloveds. Let's get into it. Okay, first things first. Now, let's talk about this. This is a grandmother who gave a 4-year-old grandchild of hers liquor. And she, in fact, thank you, Yusuf, for your kind words. Thank you, Tracy. So she gave her grandchild liquor. She actually forced the child to drink it, and the child unfortunately died. So let's talk about it. This is just so stupid. Child dies after grandmother forced her to drink bottle of whiskey while the mother sat there and watched. So they both got arrested. Okay, police arrested the little girl's grandmother and her mother on Friday, each on a charge of first-degree murder. Yes, this is so stupid and clearly ghetto. All right, so they say the 4-year-old girl is dead after her grandmother allegedly forced her to drink a bottle of whiskey. This is in Baton Rouge, just so you know, this is where this happened at. Now, Sergeant Jean McNeely, a police spokesperson, told news outlets that the little girl's grandmother, by the name of Roxanne Record, age 53, and the mother, Kaja Record, age 29, were both arrested Friday on the charges of first-degree murder. Now, they say it's unknown if either of them has an attorney who could speak on their behalf at present. But officers were sent to Baton Rouge, not Florida or Georgia. Oh, honey, don't worry. Don't worry, Vince. I am from the UK, beloved, because the Georgia and Florida news is coming up. Well, at least Florida. Okay, so they say the officers were sent to Baton Rouge to the home at 11 a.m. on Thursday after reports of an unresponsive child. Now, the child, who's 4 years old, her name was China Record. She was pronounced dead at the scene. The East Baton Rouge Parish Coroner's Office said that an autopsy showed a cause of death was acute alcohol poisoning. The little girl had a blood alcohol level of 0.680%, more than 8 times, all right, the normal limit for you to be able to drive. 8 times. And a 4-year-old, a pint-sized individual. Isn't it so disgusting that they would do this? And the mother sat there and let her mom do it. People are so stupid. Now, they say while investigating, detectives say they learned the victim's grandmother forced her to drink a whole bottle of alcohol. This is so sad. Some people do not deserve children. Do not deserve children. And it's a beautiful little girl. Let me see if I can pull up her picture real quick. Lights up, everyone. Please like and share. Here we go. As you can see, that's the beautiful little girl, China, who is unfortunately dead, thanks to her stupid mother and grandmother, and that's them, as you can see. Just really unfortunate. Really unfortunate. Alcohol is really the devil's juice, says Vince. Absolutely. Yes, it is sad. Okay, so now let's talk about this sheriff who had to arrest his own daughter because she was a whole drug dealer. Pay attention. The police out here harassing other folk, and their own family members doing drugs. Sort of like Hunter Biden, but let me continue. Now, I'm going to show you all footage of what the father had to say after she was, after he had to arrest her. Let me pull this up. Here we go. Okay, so, and I want you all to pay attention because this sheriff whose daughter this is, he's actually someone who's really hard on drugs and people who are selling drugs and all of that. He takes it real serious, and he's, you know, always campaigning against that. And so can you imagine his face when he found out his own daughter is a whole drug dealer? Also crazy. So a Florida sheriff, now Vince, here you go. This is in Florida, all right? A Florida sheriff is known for cracking down on illegal drugs. Well, unfortunately, he had to arrest his own daughter for trafficking meth. Whole drug trafficker on her way to being a cartel, no less. Now, Kristen Kent, 38 years old, was arrested on Monday afternoon by deputies from the Franklin County Sheriff's Department. They say it's heartbreaking because the last person you'd ever want to arrest is your own child. That's what the father says. And so I'm going to show you all who she is. I'm going to share my screen, and then I'm going to let you hear what the father had to say after he had to do all this. Likes up. Don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance. I know y'all get tired of hearing me saying it, but I have to remind y'all because some of y'all will just sit here and watch and won't even bother. All right, that's the sheriff right there. Sheriff AJ Smith. This is his daughter. Now, I want to tell you all, this woman is only 38 years old, Kristen Kent. She looks very hard to be 38 years old, honey, clearly. Okay, so anyway, now let's go to the footage.
Sticking my fingers. Then I got the Dexcom G6.
I just glance at my phone and there's my glucose number.
Wow.
My A1C's dropped over 2 points to 7.2.
That's a huge victory.
This Florida sheriff has a slogan.
We don't mess around.
When it comes to meth busts, he's seen it all.
We actually caught one woman was about to shoot up. She had a needle.
He even live streams the arrests on social media.
Come on, you're going to jail.
Almost 1 million people watched this one.
Possession of methamphetamine, keeping a drug house. I know we've had complaints out here.
But what Franklin County Sheriff AJ Smith came across this week shook him to his core. He arrested someone he never thought would be trafficking drugs.
We went to serve a search warrant at a house where a lady had delivered a large quantity of drugs to an informant. And while we're there, I asked her, where did your drugs come from? And she said, your daughter. And I'm like, my daughter? I said, because we're a small town, everybody knows everybody. I said, Kristen? And she's like, yes.
Kristen Kent, his 38-year-old daughter and mother of his beloved grandchildren. I sat down with the sheriff for Top Story.
We made a controlled buy and we arrested my daughter. I went to the house and got her.
Wow. What was that like for you?
I can't even put it into words. I mean, when she said Kristen, I was just like, wow. I mean, it's like a gut punch. I mean, you just, you know, I mean, what? It's like it's a dream, you know. And, you know, and that's the thing too. It's like, I know that of all the sheriffs in Florida or probably across the country that speak out about meth, I'm probably the loudest voice. And I knew that with this that I couldn't treat my daughter any differently.
Sheriff Smith has been one of the state's leading law enforcement voices in the battle against methamphetamine since going into office in 2017.
We can break the generational cycle if we can stop the next generation from becoming addicted. Putting people in jail does not solve the problem. It's a temporary fix. We've established rehab programs in the jail. We have a person on staff that their main job is finding rehab for people.
In the first half of 2020, deaths caused by meth increased by 56% in Florida, 237 more deaths than the previous year, according to a report from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. And drug use in Franklin County has skyrocketed even more in recent years compared to the rest of the state.
What I preach to the people that call me every day, they're like, well, what do I do? My son, my daughter, my mother, my sister. Tough love. I had to practice what I've been preaching. I mean, she knows better than anybody in this county.
According to police documents obtained by Top Story, Kristen Kent was charged with trafficking in methamphetamine, possession of cocaine, and possession or use of drug paraphernalia. She's currently out on bond. Sheriff Smith says he did not pay for her bond. We reached out to Kent for comment and did not hear back.
Have you spoken to her since?
Oh, yeah. No, I've spoken to her every day.
What are you communicating to her right now?
Don't do this anymore. I love you, but I don't love what you did. It was wrong, and you should not have done it.
All right, Issa Gutierrez joins us now live on set. A very heavy story. So, Issa, you have a local sheriff who's made it his mission to fight this war on meth. Did he have any sense his daughter was tied up in this?
Tom, that's the crazy thing about this. He says that he was completely shocked when he learned of this. From his perspective, he told me he thought she was doing great. She had a good government agency job, 3 beautiful children, and according to the sheriff, no prior record. He said to me, Tom, you never imagined that your own daughter could be one of the biggest drug traffickers in the county. That's what she's being accused of. But especially, Tom, when again, your father is the sheriff and so outspoken about what drugs can do to a family. So he's just completely devastated.
At Metro by T-Mobile, you can
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll say this much. He said, don't do it again. Tough love. Let me tell you something. She's not going to get the same punishments that someone who wasn't his daughter would get for doing the exact same thing. All right? That's what she's not going to get. Now, she was arrested for trafficking meth, but I'm willing to bet that her charges will be dismissed, some of them, and then some of them that are left will be reduced. And she'll likely end up with probation because where he's not going to send her is to prison, okay? And she knows that. That's why she would take a chance doing it. She absolutely knows that. And we already know that they don't give people with that complexion the same prison sentences they give us for doing the exact same thing anyway. So let alone their own children, okay? So they can miss me with it. Oh, yeah, she got arrested, absolutely. How would it look if he didn't arrest her? When he was actually arresting the person that she sold the drugs to. Okay? And so, yeah, he really didn't have pretty much of a choice than to arrest her. But I want to see if he's so tough on crime and tough on drugs, honey, let's see what he does with his daughter and how that all turns out. Because I'm going to be following up the story to see if those charges actually stuck. All right? And what type of punishment she's going to get. Because I don't believe it. I absolutely do not believe it. All right, so more news out of nefarious Florida. Florida teen is charged in a crash that killed 6 people. Do you hear me? 6 people. Now, we already had one teen who, at the age of 16, killed 4 people because he was drinking a whole 6-pack of beer and took his parents' car. And let's not forget, they didn't give him any prison time. He got probation, right? And then he broke that, violated it by going to Mexico with his mom because he had privilege, unlike most of us or any of us, right? And so now here we have another one, but only this one killed 6 people because he was driving 151 miles per hour. That's what he was doing. Yeah, it's Brad, in case you missed it. Noah Gale, age 18, posted videos of himself speeding right before a deadly crash, according to police. Now, the Florida teen was charged this week in a January crash that left 6 people dead after he lost control of his car because he was going 151 miles per hour. All right. Now, Noah Gale was charged on Monday with 6 counts of vehicular homicide for the fatal January 27th crash. And this happened in Palm Beach County, according to State Attorney Dave Ehrenberg. Now, they say Gale, who was 17 at the time, or Gale, who was 17 at the time of the crash, had previously done racing stunts for social media attention, according to the criminal affidavit that was obtained by the Washington Post. Now, the teen displayed his Instagram handle on his car windows, and in a video, he offered $25 to anyone who could correctly guess just how fast he was going. He's out there acting like it's Motor Speedway or something. Pay attention. Now, Gale was driving a 2019 BMW at 151 miles per hour down a Delray Beach highway when he crashed into the back of an SUV carrying 6 passengers, and these were all elderly people, and caused the vehicle to flip multiple times. Well, actually, a couple of them were elderly, let me say. Okay, so the victims included Philane Diu, who's 46, Vanis Persina, who was 29, Merlane Innocent Josias, who was 45, Ramiz Michelle, who was 53, and Mario Michelle Lewis, who was 60, and Michelle Lewis Saints, who was 77. He killed all those people because he wanted to get clicks and views and likes on social media. This is what people are doing foolishly, engaged in anything and everything they can think of for clouts, just to become social media famous. How stupid are some of these people? And who's raising these fools? All 6 victims work at Perot Family Farms, which has now set up a GoFundMe for the families of the victims. This is all so sad, honey. People riding along, minding their business, trying to get through their day, and some fool out of nowhere, driving like a bat out of hell, runs smack into them, and they're all dead. Now, Gale has entered a plea of not guilty. Each count he faces is a second-degree felony, punishable by up to 15 years in prison. Honey, he won't be going to prison. He won't be going to prison. They'll come up with a new term for him called affluenza, just like they did that other guy. They'll probably come up with something else for him. Let me show you his picture. They're going to take one look at him and show him the mercy that they would never show any of us. Pay attention. It's nothing new. That's him right there, honey. He got the right complexion. They probably never knew what hit them. Exactly, Claudette. So, like I said, very unfortunate, honey. Just going out here, reckless disregard for a human life. Don't care about anybody that you could hurt or harm. Not using common sense or critical thinking skills. Just acting foolish, reckless, and aimless. And like imbeciles. That's what a lot of these people are doing. All right? Adults, too. Adults as well. So, anyway, now listen to this. A mother says that her son is supposed to have hanged himself in the Jefferson County jail, but she doesn't believe it, and she wasn't notified until quite some time after he died. And so she has questions which will likely not be answered, because we know how that all goes. That's her son right there. That's the young man who was found hanged in his cell. So this happened in Birmingham, Alabama. Dolores Brown didn't know why her son was in Alabama, let alone in jail. Now, on March the 6th, Brown was at her home in Newark, New Jersey, when she got a call from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office about her son, Sharik, whom she had not seen since he left home in 2019. Well, he was on a ventilator at UAB Hospital after he tried to hang himself in his jail cell in Jefferson County Jail. That's what she was told. Now, they say that happened on March the 7th. This is a whole 3 weeks before she got the call. So she says, she asked them, why did it take so long? And they simply told her that they were trying to find her. So they said they couldn't find her, and that's what took a while. So a couple of days later, Brown got on a Greyhound bus for Birmingham to see her son. And now she arrived at the hospital a couple of days later on March 30th. Hospital staff then told her that he had been on a ventilator and had been able to open his eyes. She sat by his bedside as she read the Bible to him. Within 45 minutes, Sharik had died. He was only 24 years old. So weeks after his death, Dolores Brown is still trying to figure out what led to her son's death. She said, I felt like something happened. How did he do this? Basically said, how did he do this to himself? And she said she'd never known him to be suicidal, by the way. Now, Sharik Brown had been at Jefferson County Jail since February the 18th. The day before he had been arrested for allegedly threatening a manager at a Moe's Southwest restaurant on Highway 280, all while having a stolen laptop, wallets, and money on him. Now, he was subsequently charged with harassment, resisting arrest, possession of drug paraphernalia, as well as several other theft and burglary charges. Now, hold on. So they had him on these charges, and they say on his jail file, Sharik's address was listed as being from Dothan. Now, however, Dolores Brown said that outside of having some family on her mother's side in town, she doesn't know why he was even in Alabama. The last time the two had spoken was back in November when she said he was in Atlantic City, New Jersey. So according to a report by the Jefferson County Deputy Coroner Bill Yates, Sharik was being held in a private cell in Jefferson County to undergo a mental evaluation. So they said 1:17 p.m. on March the 7th, a deputy went to his cell to check on him after noticing the camera in his cell had been covered and that he was not answering the intercom. Yates wrote that after finding Sharik hanging, deputies got him down and performed CPR on him. Sharik was then taken to the UAB hospital. Now, Dolores Brown said that given how poor Sharik's health was in the hospital, she has questions about how long it took before deputies could get to him. She said they said that if he made it, he would never have been able to talk, walk, or eat again. So how long was it until you got to him? She asked. Now, according to the coroner's report, no admission blood remained at the time of Sharik's death, and there was no analysis that was performed from the specimens that were available at the time of his autopsy due to the time between the hanging and his actual death, they say. She said, it is my opinion based on the circumstances. This is what the coroner said. The coroner said, it is my opinion based on the circumstances surrounding the death and the examination of findings that Mr. Sharik Brown died from asphyxia by hanging. That's what Chief Coroner Gregory Davis said. Now, the manner of death is best classified as suicide for public health certification. Well, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office declined to answer any questions from CBS 42 or from Brown, adding that they don't publicize details of suicides in jail. Oh, you don't publicize them? That's one thing. But you don't even discuss the details with the mother when she has questions? I'm just curious. Not with the family in general. So the only thing they would confirm was that Brown was in the Jefferson County Jail from February the 18th until March the 7th. Dolores Brown has her doubts about what she was told. For one, she never knew Sharik to be suicidal or have any kind of mental issues outside of anxiety. More than anything, she wants to make sure everything was done the right way to help her son. She said as long as people did everything they could, if they did everything they could and they couldn't save him, well, that's fine. But if they didn't, that's a problem. Now Brown is working to bring her son back home to Newark. But she said her work to find out what happened to him is not over. She said, I see that my son is the only person that this is happening to. I'm sorry, that my son is not the only person that this is happening to. And so that's my goal, to keep this from happening to someone else. So let me tell y'all something. Here's the thing. One thing about it is the police lied so much. I mean, flat out lied. Coroners lied too. All right, we have proof of this. Coroners will be in cahoots, medical examiners in cahoots with the police sometimes. I will say whatever the police want and need them to say. So at the end of the day, even if they're telling the truth and he actually hanged himself, which I don't believe, but that's just me, no one would believe him anyway. Most black people wouldn't believe him because of their own history. When you lie and are corrupt and engage in nefariousness and are so racist against one specific group of people, don't expect those people to believe anything you say. So we have to always, take whatever they say as it pertains to deaths of black people in custody or by officers. We have to take that with a grain of salt, and that's just what it is. Okay? Cherokee Descendant Dale said, I'm in Birmingham, Alabama, and there are a lot of people in jail are getting killed here. I'm not surprised. The same thing's going on in Louisville, Kentucky, all right, where I grew up. Same thing is going on. I do believe a couple of months ago, there was 6 people that had died. I reported on this. There were 6 people that had died in those jails within a span of 2 months. 6 people, okay? That was just real crazy to me. And that all, yes, Susan said, this is all BS. Absolutely, I agree. Okay, I absolutely agree. So with that all being said, we can't believe anything they say, and that's just what it is. We have to always, like I said, do our own investigations, honey, because they're not going to tell us everything. If they were more transparent and honest and weren't engaged in such nefarious activities, then people wouldn't have these concerns. But I clearly do. Now, here is your lifeline, people. I want you all to pay attention. So there is a blood pressure pill that has been recalled due to carcinogens, okay? Acupril. It's called Acupril. It's a blood pressure pill, a heart drug, right? Used for blood pressure. And it has been recalled by Pfizer, according to the Miami Herald and other sources, because it contains carcinogens. So if you are using that, well, you might want to talk to the pharmacist or your doctor about trying to get you something else, because they're saying these things have been recalled. Byron says it's almost to the point where the police can't stop me for anything right about now. Okay, Byron. Please don't get involved in any high-speed chases, beloved. Global Goddess said 4-year-old dead after consuming liquor. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And that the grandmother and mother allowed her to drink, and the grandmother forced it on her. Okay? Because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, one of the sources that I read said something about the little girl had bothered the liquor, like she tried to go in it, or she may have sipped some or whatever, not knowing what it was. You know how kids do. And so basically, the grandmother got mad and just made her drink the whole half full bottle, every bit of it. How stupid is that? Who does that to a child? There's other ways to discipline kids. Some people are just stupid, honey, and clearly crazy. Shauna said, I'm so tired of them trying to extinguish us. They've tried for centuries, and we're still here, and we'll be here in the end. Yes, absolutely. They may as well just call it quits. Take your L, honey. Take your L and let us be, because you're not going to win. It's not going to happen, right? Exactly. So it's just all so crazy, honey. But anyway, with that all being said, that's what's on those swabs, says Athena, one who loves God. Oh, the carcinogen? Yeah, that is what they say, beloved. That's absolutely what they say. Baruch said the grandmother is retarded. She's definitely stupid. Aeon said the little girl snuck some liquor, so the grandma made her drink the bottle. Yes, exactly. That's what I read also in another article. Exactly. Said that she snuck and got some. And these are kids. Kids don't know what they're getting into. You know what I'm saying? So GL said food recalls, medicine recalls, car recalls. What's next? Honey, I don't know. But it's all getting real crazy. These recalls are happening far too often. And I don't think it's all just by accident. Okay? I just don't. I absolutely don't. And so with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. But listen, make sure you all like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you like the commentary. Don't forget that I'm going to be live at 10 o'clock. That's 20 minutes from now. I'm going to be live on the original channel, the original Queen Ahmad Shakur show. I'm going to be live on there. We're going to talk about the DC shooting over the weekend. Also, this crazy woman dressed up like she was a emergency officer or something, right? And she was shot by the police. And also, we got to talk about Governor DeSantis versus Disney. We got to talk about that. And so let's get ready to get into it. Everyone, please like and share. And I hope to see you all in the next chat. And until the meantime, in between time, I'm going to leave you with this.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man that go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
Queen.
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Amadeus.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Amadeus.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Amadeus.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Amadeus.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You try and pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Amadeus.
So the only way we're going to get some of this